following is brought to you by TaskJet, the future of task management. How do you attract a good-looking woman without deceit? First, you have to believe that you can control the way you look. Everybody hopefully has the same facial structure in a way. 2 eyes, a nose, ears, a mouth. So what makes the difference between a good-looking person and, someone who doesn't look so great? Beauty in a human being comes down to a few concepts, but it really comes down to the idea that there is no conflict. They resolve the conflict going on with you. Now, what conflict are we talking about, and how do you resolve the conflict? You must understand who you are. Now, the brighter you are, and the more spiritual energy, the harder it is to resolve the conflict because there's more intricacies that you need to work out. Now, when I talk about spiritual energy, it's how close you are to understanding a lot of things about the universe. And what I mean by that is understanding good and evil, but choosing good. Now, the higher you climb, the more good and evil you understand. Think about technology. The more advanced the tech, the more good and the more danger it could do. It's the same with concepts, ideas, influence. The more power, the more good and the more bad. It means that you have power inside you and a multitude of options at your disposal to pick and choose what path you're going to go down. And hopefully you're going to choose good. So to understand who you are and to resolve that conflict is much, much harder the more spiritual energy you have. But when you do resolve it, and it's a never-ending quest in reality, but when you do, you can be that much more beautiful and pure. So it gives off a true glow. Whereas fake beauty will give off a false glow. And there's a way to manipulate that and get surgery and use makeup and contouring. And so when you see celebrity reality TV stars go to a surgeon who figured out beauty down to the millimeter, and these girls get surgery to look the way they do, they cracked a code through manipulative means that you could achieve naturally. And along with that, you will know, based on their track record, in terms of what their body of work has been like, if they develop this pure glow. So you could crack a code and fool a lot of people. And, you won't even have to dig. You'll just feel it. You'll feel something's off. There's something wrong about this person the more you hang out with them. Now, it doesn't mean that all good-looking or attractive people are close to God or vice versa. We can understand that most good-looking people you see that didn't alter their face with surgical enhancements or injections have an energy about them. And hopefully this makes sense when I say they resolve the conflict. So when you take on a lot of pressure inside you, that energy is going to manifest in the physical as well. And women can sense that, and they're attracted to that. But they also can be threatened by it too, because the more aware you are and the more spiritual energy you have, the more intelligent you are, the more aware you are, and the more vulnerable they will feel, especially if they, have some inadequacies that they haven't really worked out, that they're going to feel judged by you, for instance. So you have to understand that with great power comes great responsibility, and that you're not going to throw every little thing at another person for what they did or their behavior and so forth. And that you're not going to pick apart every aspect of their life. Some things you might have to, especially if a woman you feel is not fully respecting you because she has these cat-like tendencies. But you have to withstand the pressure within your mind. Okay? But there's also a few other elements. Dressing well is obviously very important. Hairstyle, because these are, in reality, things you can actually control on a daily basis and change rather immediately about yourself and give off a certain prestige about yourself. And of course, making money is also pretty important. And, it's not everything in a way. And if you're attracting a woman just because of money, that's probably going to lead to problems. There's red flags with that. So you have to play that delicately, but a self-respecting woman also understands a lot about spirituality and energy. And they understand a really good man wants to take care of his family and provide for them as well. And so if you're not on that path, that's red flags for her as well. Now, there could be good reasons why you go through down periods, lulls, for instance. It happens to practically all of us. And women are usually tested where they're going to be with a man who does have a down period. And it's not permanent, it's temporary. And that's sort of their test to see if they're going to stay with a man they believe in. Now, if they get too frustrated and they get pulled into another direction, and that's not always an easy test for a woman, but as a man, it gives some comfort knowing that you're not the only one who's going to be tested with pressures of life. But what's important during your down periods is your commitment that when that happens, that you're going to do what you can, what's in your control to get out of it, especially if you don't want to see her suffer at all, right? So attracting a pretty girl is not about attracting every single woman who's good looking that you meet every single day, because then you're disrespecting a lot of people. That woman might be married. She might be with somebody else. And even if she's single, if you two aren't really meant for each other long term, well, now you're disrupting her future partner, not to mention you're hurting your own future partner. So it's more about being very selective and seizing opportunities when they do come along to be with a certain caliber of woman. And that requires you to build up a certain spiritual energy within you. And to do that, you're going to have to say no to a lot of girls that may like you, and where they make passes at you, for instance. And there might be a part of you that would enjoy it. And it's not like these are going to be ugly women. But if you're really committed to that spiritual energy that you want to acquire, then it's about staying true to that and being able to say no to somebody who makes you laugh or smile or you're attracted to, or you feel is really brilliant or smart, but you feel like, you know what, there's someone who I'm really meant to be with that's a little bit better than me. And that gives you more spiritual energy when you're able to say no in those moments when you know it's not right. And at the start, you might feel the need, like you want to grow this energy inside you to attract beautiful women, for instance. But in order to keep growing, you can't stay at that level where you submit and settle to a woman that's not right for you. So the very power you're seeking could turn into a plateau, a false power, in the sense that you want to have control over women. And you want them to look at you in a sexy way every time that you pass them by. And so you're really wanting to gain more and more power, but in order to do that, you're going to have to let go of that feeling of trying to control other people. And if you're married already, know that you and your wife can continue to build this energy. You know, there are many people who look a certain way in their 20s and 30s, and then they get more beautiful as time goes on in their 40s, their 50s. So you wonder, how is that possible? Where it usually happens in reverse for a lot of people, right? We think you get worse with age. And in reality, it's because of resolving this conflict. But energy can build inside you. And you can change those facial structures, believe it or not. Because you must consciously understand this, that sometimes when you make movements with your jaws or you clench your teeth, you make certain eye gestures, you're actually changing the way that you look. And when you start bringing conscious awareness to these things that are going on that you probably weren't even aware of earlier on, because again, there's codes and laws that the universe is made up of, it dictates what happens to us. So we got to start honoring and respecting certain things that are going on to manifest actions that actually we want to bring about change within ourselves. And if you love the idea of beauty in other people, for instance, that's usually the start to become beautiful yourself. But that's not what life is all about, because if you spend all your thoughts and energy there, you're probably going to neglect a lot of other things that are very important to you as well. So it's a great, great balance of life. This has been brought to you by TaskChat, the task management tool to simplify your life. TaskChatApp.com.